Do you get the storyline?
I did get the storyline, yes.
Yeah? Could you tell me what happened?
So it was a bunch of students who I believe were university students, and I can't remember where they were going, but their car broke down and they were forced to camp in a forest, and then they met their untimely deaths.
Yeah, I get the storyline. I get the basic premise that's, set in a forest. These kids get lost and, their car breaks down, whatever, so they need to set up camp for the night. So yeah, I understand the basic premise of what the story is.
Yeah, you guys are like going somewhere. I'm not sure where, but you guys are going somewhere and then the car randomly stops. Then you guys walk around in the forest, and after that, there's like you kind of will split up, and then there's a killer, and then after you all run away.
A group of friends. They just want. I don't really understand where they're going,
Right.
but it's like a trip or something, and they go together, and at some point they get lost. At the beginning, there's a hint that someone's pretty much following them. There's a man in the mirror, and after that, conveniently, their car just stops.
So it's about a group of friends, okay, who are they're just out on the road, they're just driving, and then they had their car couldn't get any further, so they I think they ran out of petrol or something. Yeah, so they went into the forest, set like a campfire, and then a pig comes, and, like murders one of them or something, and then the pig man. The guy with the pig's head basically kills. Well, he doesn't kill all of them. He kills one of them, and then he just attacks them, and then they're looking for their friends who they've lost. They get split apart.
Was there anything you didn't understand?
I think like the stuff that I didn't understand was like at the start the text was a bit too fast, I think, and not also that, but like the first scene in the forest, the camera was pointing at the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then another scene it was just like dark, and you could just hear like the voices. Like I don't know if that was intentional or not.
I don't get if the characters knew the murderer, because one of them called him Justin, and I don't know if any of the group of friends were called Justin.
At the end, it seemed like a horror film, but there was this part in the middle where I was a bit confused because like the pig guy started smoking a spliff.
Yeah.
And I thought, is this a comedy or something, or is this like a horror comedy?
Who was your favourite character? Do you know characters?
I don't know the names, but your character's my favourite character just because you're like the most sassy. So.
I don't know the name,
It's fine.
but the character who always got high.
My favourite character would probably either it's a choice between like Jay or you. Yeah, probably. I think like your performance was believable. Like his was believable as well. Yeah, so.
I think my favourite character was the guy who was smoking. He had a.
Chillax one.
Sorry?
Chillax one.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, his attitude to everything was quite laid back, and the fact that he shared his cannabis with the alleged killer was quite humorous.
Can you distinguish what was found footage and what was traditional footage?
Okay. Yeah. I could. Yeah. In some parts, I could distinguish it. Yeah.
No, because my background isn't in film. A lot of it came across as a homemade documentary in that sense, so I couldn't tell. No.
There was one scene where I understood the story of it, but I didn't understand who was filming because there was one bit where he was smoking by himself.
Mm-hmm.
And someone was filming him, and then he was like, "Oh, what's that?" But there was no one. And I thought it was meant to be like a found footage kind of thing.
What did you think of the mix? Did you find it comedy? Was there any horror in it?
More horror than comedy, I'd say.
I mean, it was horror, and then there was this one bit where the guy with the joint, he gets stabbed, and then he's like, "Oh, I shared the zoo with you, bruv." And then yeah, so it was kind of like a mixture of both.
But I saw like the funny bits, like he was like to the killer, "Oh yeah, you could like to share some of this."
I felt like the horror and the comedy parts, they didn't really. It felt like two separate films, right? It didn't really. It felt like there was only that segment in the middle where it was a comedy, and then the rest was horror.
Yeah.
Like the other parts of it like didn't have any elements of comedy. I think it could have been mixed a bit better, perhaps.
Where would you expect this film to be distributed? So where would you expect to watch it?
Maybe a film festival, possibly. I guess, I don't know, because it seems kind of indie, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's an indie film, obviously. So at film festivals, you know, a lot of indie films they actually end up going to the big screen, but they always start off at film festivals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
It would start off somewhere small since it's like a really short film, probably somewhere like YouTube or something, and then you'd like monetize it just to see if it gets popular or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube, or it could be like maybe at like an indie, like into an independent film showing or something like that.
I'd go as far as saying that I'd watch it on a DVD.
What was your favourite scene and why?
the bit where the guy gets stabbed and then he's like, oh, you should have shared the zoo, or I shared the zoo with you, or whatever, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
My favorite scene was the ending, like how like everyone realized like they're in trouble and stuff, and then like the cliche like the phone ran out of like what was it, like signal and stuff,
Yeah.
and then Kale gets dragged into the forest.
His name is Kale, was murdered for no particular reason, because I don't like him. It's just that was kind of pretty classic, let's say. He was dragged, the others were just murdered.
Yeah, when the pig just arrives behind Jay, yeah, that's probably my favourite scene.
When he shared the drugs with the killer.
What was your least favourite scene and why?
Maybe the end bit where he gets dragged away and then he's like, no, and then like, yeah, I don't know, I thought that was a little bit over the top, but whatever, it has to be a bit over the top. It's a horror movie, right? So.
But the only bits that I didn't like was like the bits that you couldn't really see properly and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, it was all good.
Kush saw the murderer, he didn't scream or anything, he was just accepting the fact that a man with a pig mask was there.
Okay, well, I mean, my least favourite scene would be like, you know, when you're searching for your friends in the forest, and then you see the pig guy, yeah, the pig man. I don't know what to call him yet, but you see him, like it just it kind of ruined the mood and atmosphere because the light was shining on him, and it's just the moment just didn't. It seemed like it kind of threw me out a bit.
Nearer the end, I'd say that maybe the two who were last to die probably could have been a bit more concerned and scared that their mates were dead.
Rate the film out of 10.
7.
Out of 10, 8.
I'd say 6.5.
I'd say 9, just because I say nothing's ever 110% perfect, but you know, everything can get quite close to perfect, but there's always improvements to be made, so.